Hello, 7th graders. This is Mr. Casci speaking. As you can see, I am not able to join you for today's class, but I will be going through the lesson as I usually do when I'm not there through a video, and hopefully you will be able to follow along, and I'll be taking questions tomorrow, and it should be rather easy because it is something that we've done, that you've done before in 6th grade. So our schedule for the day is as it appears on the board. Hopefully attendance has been taken by the sub. If they haven't, they should do so now. We'll be collecting the homework. Sorry we can't go over too many questions because, well, I don't know which ones you would like me to go over, but we'll collect the homework and I will correct that myself. Today's lesson is on order of operations, and that's on section 1.9 in our book. We will be spending 2 days on 1.9. Today will be on order of operations. Tomorrow will be on distributive property. And your assignment today is out of the book. So I will give you some time to get out your notebook, open to a clean page, and you can label it accordingly. 1.9 order of operations, and the first thing that we're going to talk about is the mnemonic PEMDAS. So I'll give you a little time to get that out. We'll continue here in a little bit. So I'm going to start by how we remember what to do when. So order of operations, there's a certain order that we have to do all these operations. Okay, so we have to do all these different operations. We have add, subtract, multiply, divide, parentheses, and I'll put exponent like that. Okay, exponent would be up there. Okay, but we have to remember what order to do these in, and there's kind of a little saying that we say, and the saying is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now, not everybody has an Aunt Sally, but this is how we remember it. You say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we write that down. PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's a little saying that helps us remember what order this goes in. All right? Now, I do have an Aunt Sally. I inherited her through marriage. She's a very sweet gal, but she has no idea how to do her order. But please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We need to use her name because it's the only one that fits. Okay? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That is how you remember it. That's how you remember it. Okay? Now this next slide is very close, but this is how we complete it. All right? So I want you to write it down just as we have it. So write down that PEMDAS once again. Put a little parentheses up there, and I want you to write in the word parentheses. Oh, didn't plan ahead. Parentheses. Exponent. Multiply. Divide. Add. Subtract. Okay, so it should be in your notes just as that is. So multiply, or parentheses on the first, exponent, multiply, divide, add, subtract. Okay, now what I also want you to do, the next thing I want you to do is to kind of box this M and D together, and also box the A and the S together. Because when we do multiply or divide, we're going to do whatever is first, working from left to right. So these are kind of put together in their own little thing. Okay? And same thing with adding and subtracting. When all there is adding and subtracting, we're going to work from left to right, whichever one comes first. Okay? And I'm going to explain that a little bit more here in these examples that I have on the next page. All right, so your notes should look exactly like this. I'll give you a little bit here to try and catch up in case I've been going a little too fast. All right, so parentheses, exponent, multiply, divide, add, subtract. And then make sure to box the multiply and the divide, the m and the d together. And the same thing with the a and the s, the add and subtract. All right, moving on to the next slide. You don't have to write PEMDAS again, but we do have a couple examples. I'd like you to write those down in your notes. Okay, so the first one is 5 plus 4 minus 6. And the next one is 4 minus 6 plus 5. Those are the two examples. Okay? And this first one just deals with adding and subtracting, and that's what I was talking about before. Those kind of go together. So it doesn't matter which one comes first, we're going to do it first. So 5 plus 4, this would give us 9. Okay? And then 9 minus 6, just bring that 6 down here. 9 minus 6 would give us 3. That would be our answer. Okay? Then I want you to pay close attention to this next one, because even though subtraction comes first, okay, here subtraction comes first, but we still do it. Even though the a comes before the s in PEMDAS, we're still going to do the subtraction first. So 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Then we're going to bring the 5 down, plus 5. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. Now they're the same answer, but we got them different ways. Okay? It's not always going to work out like that. So 9 minus 6, well, that equals 3. Okay? Negative 2 plus 5, that equals 3. They both equal 3, but we got them different ways. And even though the a comes first, we still subtracted first. So it doesn't matter. That's why we kind of group these together, the a and the s. Subtract first, then add, just working from left to right. Okay, I'll leave that up there. Those of you that have caught up, you can write down the next one. Okay, so you can see it's very close to what we have in the first two examples, but there are some differences that I want to explain here. So we have parentheses, 5 plus 4, close the parentheses, minus 6. And then we have 4 minus, parentheses, 6 plus 5, close the parentheses. Okay, that's how we would write it. So, moving on, we have to do parentheses first. That is our first job. So 5 plus 4 is 9 minus the 6. That equals 3. That is the same as the first one up above it. Now that we have this, 4 minus, we have to do these parentheses first. We have to do 6 plus 5 first. 6 plus 5 is 11. And then the 4 minus 11 should give us a negative 7. Okay, so we have to do the parentheses first. This 6 plus 5 gives us 11 first. And then we do 4 minus 11 gives us negative 7. Parentheses first. That's how it changes. Answer is not 3, but negative 7. Okay, 2 more examples here, and then we'll get going on your assignment. Okay, so 5 times 4 plus 6. And then the other example would be 5 times the quantity 4 plus 6. Okay, so there's parentheses around the 4 plus 6. All right, now for this first example, the 5 times 4, well, that's multiplication. And m up here, multiplication, we have to do before we add or subtract. So 5 times 4, that would give us 20. Then what we have to do is we have to bring down the 6. 20 plus 6 is 26. Okay. So the difference over here is that we have parentheses around the 4 plus 6. So that means we have to do this first. 4 plus 6, that is 10. Bring down the 5. 5 times 10 gives us 50. And 50 would be our answer here. Okay. Notice how they are the same numbers. 5 times 4 plus 6. 5 times the quantity 4 plus 6. But entering those parentheses where they are makes that 10. 5 times 10 makes it 50. While over here we do the 5 times 4 first. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 6, 26. They are two different answers because we inserted those parentheses over there. Okay. Hopefully these examples were more of a review from last year. Okay, order of operations. PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, moving on, here is your assignment. Pages 50 through 51, problems 8 through 16, number 35, and then 38 through 41. Okay, this is due at the beginning of class tomorrow. I'll be taking questions before you turn it in, but please have it all completed. Show all of your work. Okay, when you turn that in, if you have no work showing, you will not be receiving credit. So I hope you have a good rest of the day, and keep your stick on the ice.